Welcome to Current Chatter, the place where we dive into the latest news and happenings going on around the world. Join mother and son duo Kota and Losa as they engage in lively debates over current affairs and anything else that sparks a discussion. With diverse perspectives and a bit of fun, you never know what topics will come up next. Tune in every Friday afternoon for your weekly dose of Current Chatter.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday afternoon, and if Dakota can talk, I'm sure he would say, hello. You okay there?
What's going on, guys? I made a mixed drink right before we started. It's tequila and ginger ale, and it's...
I was just going to say how much of that was what?
it was probably a 70-30 mix.
Yep, that's too much. Too much?
I'm still going to drink it. But it is
technically... because the podcast comes out on Friday afternoon, right?
It is. It's been one of those weeks for me. It has been a long, stressful week.
Yeah.
And you can say I am over it.
I've heard that from a lot of people this week. I am just ready for the weekend, even though I'm working the weekend. But it's still there. It's just something about it being Saturday or it being, it doesn't feel like a full day.
Yeah, definitely. So Mom and we definitely want to talk about the new Monster series, the Ed Gein series. But Mom has told me that she doesn't know if she wants to finish it. We have both gotten to episode 6. Mom finished episode 6, and I am halfway through episode 6. My partner, Rin, had a family emergency and had to fly home last weekend to... put to rest their grandfather. He had passed away suddenly.
So sad.
So I, for obvious reasons, I wasn't able to finish it because I love and support my partner, and they asked me not to.
Got it,
and
dude.
Said, you got it. Hey, you got it, dude. And Mom tells me I need to convince her to watch the rest of it, and I'm shocked by that.
You have to admit, have you seen all the monsters? You've seen them all, right? Out of all of them, this is, I think, I hate to say it because everybody's saying, oh, it's Emmy worthy. But it's the least of the 3 or 4 that have come out. You know what I mean? And
yes.
Go ahead.
So I do think that it's Emmy worthy, and I'll tell you why. I think the way he is presenting Ed Gein is absolutely phenomenal. I think the way he is playing this character is exactly how we would picture Ed Gein, down to his voice. There's a reason he talks the way he does, and I don't know if you've ever seen or heard Ed Gein.
All I've heard is the recordings of him, and he didn't come across as mealy as I thought Charlie portrayed him.
Hi, Mama. Hi, baby. No, he definitely is that very soft-spoken. I'm not quite sure what happened. I went into a trance in the middle of the night.
Okay.
He's definitely like that, 100%. And I think for the parts that Charlie has played in the past, this is a much different and challenging part to play. No one can quite be Ed Gein. They tried to do it in Psycho. They tried to do it in Leatherface.
I think they captured pieces of him.
Absolutely. They captured the essence of Gein. But the way Charlie is portraying Gein is phenomenal.
Some of it might be that is it too close to real life, or is it that it's so fantastical that they're just making so much of it up?
They do take liberties in the show. They absolutely do. But you have to remember that back in the 1940s, when this came out, nobody could believe that someone could do these things. Like, it just was not comprehensible. Like, we never talked about a goon or I'm sure there was, like, talks of a boogeyman, like, you know what I mean? But there wasn't, like, a real-life boogeyman wasn't a thing. And I don't think there's ever a way to properly portray exactly how sinister it was and how out of the box it was. Because, we don't. It's hard to explain. I just don't think that you can truly portray exactly what happened and the kind of things he was going on in his head.
Well, there's one scene in episode 6 where the cop says, "How many people did you kill? How many people did you kill?" And then they're like, "There's over 200 bodies." And I'm like, that's so not true. The reality of it, when I looked it up, when I researched it, said that 15 bodies.
But you have to remember, too, a lot of these cops had never, like, in the small town they were in, they'd never seen a skeletal body or a body in pieces or a body made into a chair or a body made into a lamp. You know what I mean? So it probably looks like a lot because how many bones are there in the human body? So you could have a complete skeleton and it look like a ton. But Ed Gein actually, he wasn't a serial killer. He only killed the 2 women. There's a scene in there where he kills the babysitter and he's like attempting to have his mom smack her on the head. That was just blown out of proportion because there were other people who went missing in the small town where Ed was, but they couldn't ever link him to those. It also, the 2 hunters that Ed chases down with a chainsaw, there were 2 hunters that went missing near the Gein property that they never found, but they couldn't link Ed to those missing hunters. But everybody just kind of was like, it had to have been Ed. Like, who else could have done it? There was a babysitter who went missing, and who else could have made that babysitter go missing but Ed? But the truth of it is that people trusted Ed full-heartedly to watch their kids. He was the town babysitter. And I didn't like that part of the TV show. They portrayed him to be this awful babysitter, and in reality, like, he babysat a lot of kids.
Really?
He did. 100%.
Wow.
100%. He was the town babysitter. And I think because he wasn't, when he took his IQ test, he had an average score. He was very average intelligence. He wasn't slow, but he also didn't have the social skills because of what Augusta had done to him as a child. She didn't allow him to have the social skills. She didn't allow him to be a child. Anytime he had, like, the fleeting hope of having a friend, she shut it down immediately because anybody that wasn't in the Gein family was of the devil. There's no way that we can ever be around these people because they're of the devil. And I think he was so good with kids because he never got to experience being a child himself.
This is creepy.
So the other side to it is I wish they had showed, like, a little Gein when his mom was at her craziest. Because the full heart reason Ed is the way that he is Augusta, is his mother. His mother had such control over him. And when he lost her, he didn't know what to do. She never set him up to have success or be able to do anything. Like, that's all she ever wanted was someone that absolutely could not function without her. Because her husband had a horrible drinking problem, and George also had the lowest of low self-esteem. He never thought he could amount to anything. There was nothing that he could ever do. There's no reason for him to be on this earth. He had very low self-esteem. And when you have someone like Augusta, Augusta was German. I think she was born and raised in Germany, and her family later moved to the United States. And she just had this without thou personality. There was no one better than Augusta. And her faith and her obedience to God was her biggest downfall. Like, that there was no one that could outdo Augusta on God. You know what I mean? So that set him up for a lot of failures. That set Ed up for a lot of failures. And Augusta always wanted a daughter, but she got cursed, she would say in her own words, with 2 sons. And Henry, the older brother, he never quite understood why Augusta was the way that she was, you know, but Ed just fell in love with Augusta because Augusta, when she had Ed, thought, I didn't get the daughter I wanted, so I'm going to have the son I want, and I'm not going to fail this son. And so she kind of put Henry to the back burner and just completely latched on to Ed. So there was not, she set Ed up for failure. There was, like, it was definitely when they say, is it nurture versus nature? She nurtured.
So did he actually murder his brother, or was it the fires that got his brother?
There is no real knowledge of how Henry died. There is a very large speculation that Henry was Ed's first kill, but when Ed said the fire broke out and the fire died down, he was able to lead authorities right to his brother's body. It wasn't like a search for Henry or anything like that. It was, oh, here's Henry right now. And the coroner labeled him as cardiac arrest. He had a heart attack during the fire. And it's just peculiar how Ed said, my brother's missing, I can't find him after this fire, and then they go and search for him, and Ed leads them right to Henry. Yeah. But there's no physical proof or actual proof that Henry was Ed's first kill. It is definitely heavily speculated.
So what do you think about the portrayal of Augusta?
I really wish they went deeper. I think that they did the best that they could. A lot of the things that happened are true with Augusta's story. I can't think of any variables on how they switched to it. I definitely would have loved to seen a younger Ed growing up with Augusta. I would like to see more of why he is the way he is, because they never really explain it. Explain that, like, it truly is Augusta's fault.
I don't know.
That's how I see it, is that Augusta
some of the stuff that the girlfriend convinces him to do, Adelaide convinces him to do all sorts of weird stuff.
So that's the series. The Adelaide thing is in the series. There was a woman named Adeline Watkins who, after Ed got arrested, came out and said, yeah, me and Ed were dating for several years, and I didn't know him to be this kind of person. And there was a whole news article on it. I haven't read it before, but I've heard it on podcasts. But several weeks later, she came out and said that it was all a lie, that she had made up that whole story about her and Ed being,
so she's now trying to tell people she never had anything to do with Ed.
Correct. But I truly don't think that Ed ever had a romantic connection with anybody.
How could you?
I think he was just a lonely person.
Necrophiliac, you wouldn't feel comfortable around others either.
He wasn't. That was another liberty that the show took.
That's one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen.
It was very disturbing, but I loved that scene. I loved it so much because you don't...
It's very raw. It's very hard to watch.
It is 100% hard to watch. It is vile and just makes your skin crawl, but I loved it because of that. I loved that rawness to it because you just don't see shit like that. But at one point, Augusta said, if you love me, you'll never lie with a woman, because women are absolute sin. They're nothing but whores and tramps, and they're no good. They're the worst thing on this planet. Women will never be anything. So that's what she told the boys, that if you love me, you'll never have sex with a woman. And if there's one thing that Ed loved, it was his mother. Absolutely 100%. When Augusta died, he boarded up her room. He never went into her room after she died. So when the police were investigating his house, it was like a tomb. They walked in, they unboarded, because they thought they were going to find some crazy shit back in Augusta's room, but they opened it up and it was layers and layers of dust and this perfectly set up room, because she kept a very tidy home. Because cleanliness is close to godliness, that saying. So she kept a very, very clean home. So when they went into her room, it was pristine just with dirt. And I refuse to believe that Ed ever had sexual relationships with dead individuals because of the love he had for his mother.
Things that make you go,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't enjoy quite all the liberties that the show took, but at the same time, it's hard to portray someone with such mental illness being able to do these kind of heinous acts.
Here online, and I see on Twitter and Facebook and stuff when the show first came out, was these scenes and that, this and that, and it's just so powerful. Charlie's portrayal of Ed Gein, during this scene or that scene, and I keep waiting for that, and I don't know if I've missed them or if they haven't just happened yet, and a lot happens in the last couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm excited to finish it. I don't. You have to make it watch worthy. You have to, and I don't know if the actual Ed Gein story itself is cinema worthy without all of these add-ons. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Ed was a lonely person who had to do these things to make himself feel like Augusta was still there because he loved his mother that much.
I love you, Kota, and I know you love me, but let's draw the line.
Yeah, I'm not making any nipple belts or chairs out of people.
And
I'm
that,
just not.
he didn't do all that, did he?
Yes, he did.
I thought that like that scene from Silence of the Lambs, you put the lotion on the skin. They did a lotion scene.
They did because they have to tie those series into that show at some point. You know what I mean? And I understand why they did those certain things. I totally understand. But you have to remember too, the things that those shows portray, like Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they had ideas about Ed and they just totally took it. You know what? They took it into their own extreme, and the show's trying to tie those super extremes into what Ed was, and again, it's just other people's imaginations on those other series.
So tell me, what do you think? Is there anything that you haven't seen yet that you would have, besides like his younger years living with Augusta, which I'm sure was, if you've seen Psycho, you can say that you've seen the early years, you know what I mean, of Ed Gein's life.
See, and I haven't seen Psycho. I haven't seen that. No, I haven't. I want to. I need to go watch it for sure.
It's so easy now to watch that kind of stuff, especially this time of year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, I haven't finished the series, and I would like to see how they portray him when he serves his time. I'm not going to say where he serves his time, but I would like to see how they portray it. I would like to see how they portray the trial. Because at one point, Ed had been serving his sentence so long, and he wanted a retrial of sorts, and they give it to him, but they don't let him out of the situation he's in, if that makes sense.
So it doesn't do anything for him.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But when you finish the series, we can go a little deeper into it.
I was expecting more of, like, the Jeffrey Dahmer one was very close to the actual. They didn't make anything up.
They did. They
Really?
did.
Like, they kept it was a lot closer
Yes,
to the
they did.
storyline than this one has been. Like, the more I find out about Ed Gein, the more I'm like, well, that doesn't match the story that I watched.
So you know that you do remember the neighbor in Ed Gein's story? It's played by that black actress who like bombshelled everyone and had everyone call on. Who called the police and was like, this
Her
person's
story
house
is
is stinking,
completely.
you know what I mean?
But they needed a narrator for the.
It was completely fabricated. But the real reason is even more fucking crazy. That's what I didn't like about the Dahmer series, is they didn't get into the real reason why the police were over there in the first fucking place. A young man escaped him and was running through the streets with a fucking hole drilled in his head because Dahmer wanted a sex slave, a sex zombie slave, and he would drill into people's heads and like pour chemicals into their brains. And I think that Dahmer was pouring antifreeze or something in his head, and he woke up and ran out of the apartment, and it startled Dahmer, and he was running down the street.
Right, but Dahmer had been like, remember his youngest victim had done the same thing and woke up in the middle of it.
Yeah, but he didn't escape. This was like a whole different person that other people had woken up. But this kid escaped Dahmer, ran, and two policemen caught up to the kid running, and then Dahmer caught up to him and said, "Oh no, this is my boyfriend. He's just having a rough night. He drank too much. I'm just going to take him back upstairs." And because of the time, the cops were homophobic, and they finally were like, "Oh, we saw this happen at this address, so let's go investigate."
He ended up killing.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100% he did.
Let's watch something happy. Let's watch the live action Moana or something next time.
Is there a live action Moana?
I would make a good grandma in that.
You would. I unlocked a new fear this week.
And what
Yawning
too hard. Yawn too hard.
So, let me pull up the article.
So you can think of it as a new fear unlocked, or level 4 fear.
Okay. So a young woman yawned so strongly that she
Did
breaks
she
her
die?
neck. No, she did not die. A 36-year-old woman in the UK almost lost her life after yawning so forcefully one morning that she broke her neck and required emergency surgery.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Haley Black had just woken up one morning to heat her daughter a bottle of formula when she saw the baby yawning and instinctively followed her example. It was a casual thing, but the 36-year-old mother instantly felt an electric shock sensation shoot through her body, leaving her arms stuck in the air. Black immediately realized that something was wrong, so she asked her husband Ian to call an ambulance. When she arrived in the hospital, she was in excruciating pain, but doctors struggled to understand what was going on because their scans didn't show anything. It was only after taking CAT scans of the woman's neck that they realized the C6 and C7 bones in her neck had shot forward into her spine. It's crazy. The C6 and C7 had shot forward into my spine when I yawned. Due to the force of the yawn, they said it was a freak accident. My mom told me the doctor said it's a 50-50 whether she was going to walk and potentially survive. Luckily for the English woman, doctors were able to perform emergency surgery and prevent any serious damage, and preventing paralysis due to low oxygen levels, permanent nerve damage, and a scar from the doctors. Where the doctors removed the discs in her neck, she spent 6 months in a wheelchair and had to relearn to walk. Haley also developed fibromyalgia, a long-term condition that causes chronic pain. I'm still struggling with the nerve damage today. I often get pains going down my arms, shooting down my back, and up into my neck and head. I can't yawn without panic, and any yawn, I try to stifle it, and it still affects me to this day.
She had to have, rolled her shoulders, because I've, rolled my shoulders and, really hard and felt like I dislocated one of my bones in my neck. And it was like, okay, well, we won't do that again. It's kind of like that sneeze, everybody's sneezing.
I've sneezed and thrown out my back. I've sneezed too hard. Yeah, I've sneezed too hard and fucked up my back.
I'm trying to imagine having that much I know it doesn't take that much, but she had to have had some type of osteoporosis or something prior to this, like weak bones or something. You know what I mean? People don't just break their neck yawning. I'd want to see her yawn.
Unless it's do you remember the Mummies movie?
Yeah,
where the sand doom is coming and his mouth just like a snake just opens up. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna say a little bit of BS on this. Her husband, I hope it's not her husband hit her.
My goodness. I'm sorry, that caught me off guard. You can't get mad at me for that. That caught me off guard. Okay, do you want to hear about pubic hair?
Oh, is that the whole Kim Kardashian underwear issue?
No, I just saw that today,
that makes
and
you
I
gag
don't understand it at all.
Why? Why? I might just be a child of the 90s or whatever, but that's just disgusting. Why would you do that? If you're stupid enough to get laser treatment or something so hair doesn't ever grow down there, why get underwear to make it look like that? Why? Explain it to me. I do not understand it.
No, this is it's a trend in Russia where women are wearing pubic hair wigs.
Let's go back to the Kim Kardashian story.
So Russian women are reportedly paying up to 20,000 rubles, $245 US, for tiny wigs that they glue to their pubic area for a more natural look inspired by the 1990s.
See? I called that. I called it. Did you hear me say that? This is a childhood of the 90s. I called it.
So, according to Russian media, the popularity of a pubic hair wigs has skyrocketed in recent months, inspired by naturalist trending sweeping Russia. Both young men and women are flocking to specialty online stores and marketplace to look for realistic
Dakota, they're not taking
wigs.
pubic hair and putting it on their head. This is the same exact thing that Kim Kardashian is doing with the underwear.
But Kim Kardashian is putting it on underwear and then they're wearing it. This is like a toupee for your cooter.
Nauseating. Take a shower. Blech. Remember when I told you before in the past? DNA is forever.
But I don't know if this hair is real or not. I haven't read this article, so it could be fake pubic hair. Can you imagine?
No,
do you remember
don't
that?
No, yeah, don't.
Jackass. He's all getting in his mouth. It's all from his buddies. One had crabs.
Who brought crabs to the party?
Oh,
Like, for how successful Jackass was, they sure were a bunch of 12-year-old boys.
I think deep down, every boy is a 12-year-old. I don't think men mature past 12. Like, I still fart. I still giggle real hard at farts. Fart jokes. When someone farts.
I was watching the news yesterday, and there was this girl on there who wrote a message to the troops, and then her letter got chosen.
It is in a museum. I gotta find it and just, oh my goodness.
It was such, like, I just read it and was like, oh, okay. And then the joke, and she's like, it's in a museum forever.
Oh, I think I found it.
Does anybody else remember writing letters to soldiers in Afghanistan after 9/11? I was on Reddit reading a lot of, like, soldiers talking about some of the shit kids were saying in their letters, like, have a good war, hope you live to see Christmas. And I actually found my fucking letter, and I knew it was mine because I hated my signature so much. And so I asked, I said, hey, who wrote this letter? Because it would be good to know who's kept it for what now, 20 years? And it turns out it's actually on display at the main U.S. military base in Kabul, Afghanistan. And I was like, man, that's awesome, dude. My joke crushed so hard it remains timeless in another country. And then I thought, man, I hope that soldier's still alive. Anyway, here's my letter.
I know being away from home, family, and friends must be incredibly challenging at times. Thank you for your service. I hope to make you smile by sharing a joke that you can tell your buddies. Why does your dick get hard when you stare in the mirror? Because it thinks you're a pussy too. Have fun sharing and have a good day. Jessica.
Forever. You're going to be known as that little girl. Forever. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, it would be one thing if it wasn't.
You can't make that kind of shit up. You can't do it. You can't make that shit up.
And it's on display. Like, you have to know that 99% of the people that go through the Kabul museum are not going to speak English. But the ones that do speak English are going to be like, you're going to know who can speak English because they're going to be like, did you see this? Did you see this?
Did you read this? What's going on? Did you read this? Here, let me read it to you. Can you believe what this child said? Are all American children like this? Do all Americans swear like this? Yes, we fucking do.
That would be something you would have done.
I vaguely remember writing letters to the troops. I did not say anything like that. I highly doubt my letter's out there somewhere, but oh yeah. Oh, I cried when I watched that. I had the same reaction to that as the old lady reading the new hip words when she said where these haws at or cap gidget.
Oh, it's too good. No cap.
No cap.
Hard no. Hard pass. Pass.
Yeah.
Me and ChatGPT are breaking up. We're not allowed to play on ChatGPT anymore. Nothing.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to give it up. You know.
Wait, why do you mean you're not allowed to play with ChatGPT? Did your conservative homies tell you this?
If anything, they're like, do more ChatGPT. Now, I just think I was relying too heavily on it.
I mean, I guess I can see that, but
it does do a
has
lot of
so
good.
much
Like, I learn a lot from it. But sometimes I have to trick it into giving me the right answer.
Mama.
That's what Justin, you sounded exactly like your little brother. Mama.
That's exactly what he said.
stop it, stop. And he was like, you need to get off ChatGPT right now, Mom.
No, I'm telling you to do more ChatGPT.
Never stop.
Never stop. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it here. Mom, you got anything else?
Just have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Yep. I will say the same thing. And I will also add that, drum roll, please. You got to make it just like Christmas Vacation. We are designing t-shirts.
Awesome.
They are going to be great. So we're going to post them probably on our Instagram and our Facebook page. We'll have people vote and see what shirts they like. And maybe, just maybe, one of you lucky... Yeah, Lucy, it's exciting.
Lucy's all excited.
Right? Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, one of you lucky listeners will get a free t-shirt. We haven't decided how we're going to give out this free t-shirt. Well, we know how we're going to give it out. It's going to be through the U.S. Postal Service because that's how you send out mail. But we haven't decided how we're going to choose a winner or what the contest is going to be. So, if you would like a free t-shirt and maybe a little love note from your two favorite podcasters.
That would be me and
Stay
Dakota,
tuned.
right? Just kidding. Free stuff is always awesome. I went to an event this weekend and just was like, ran around and got all the free stuff.
That's what really pays for the event. Because you paid like, what, $50 to get into this event? You're going to leave with... I have to leave with $50 worth of free shit.
It was only $25. It was the breast cancer awareness walk. It was pretty fun.
I think if you've had breast cancer, you should get in for free. I don't think you should have to fucking pay to get in.
I already paid. I paid
Just
with my
saying.
blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. Save the titties.
That's what several guys had those on their t-shirts. Different variations of Save the Titties.
I am a true believer that titties make the world go round. So I will always be an advocate for Save the
all.
Titties. But no, you really had to pay to get in?
Yes.
As a breast cancer survivor?
Well, it's a free event, but they ask everybody to fundraise for the event, and all the money goes directly to the breast cancer awareness people.
Ugh. Yeah. Sorry, that last... Whew, bam! That last drink was all tequila.
Straight up.
I didn't
Anyway,
mix that well.
so it was free to get into the event. They just asked that you fundraise for it. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and then all the stuff I got there was free, and you should see all the stuff I got. I kind of came home was like, yeah, I got t-shirts, lots of t-shirts and flowers, and yeah.
That's
I'm sorry, but I got off track.
But-
I apologize. It's my story for the night.
That's totally fine. I think that's a common theme here on Current Chatter, is we try to stay current, but man, do we get off on some tangents.
Tonight it was Mom's turn.
Right? So, like I was saying, someone out there is going to win a free t-shirt and possibly a little signed love note from Mama and myself.
Yay.
If you can read my chicken scratch. But look out for the voting. I will post everything in the show notes down below when we go to do it. It is still in the works, so stay tuned
So you have to be listening.
on how to enter. You have to be listening. And we might even put in something right in the middle. We might stop what we're saying and go, hey guys, if you're listening right now, here's how you enter to win the t-shirt. And if you don't fucking pay attention, that's your fucking fault. I don't care. Please make sure you like, subscribe. It helps us out so much more than you could ever realize. We're on all the major platforms. We've worked very hard on it. And please remember to drink your water and talk to your therapist, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, shit, my pants.
Wait, how much are they getting for it? I'm broke.